I am the Josh.
I am the Banks. And,
Nice.
and this is
Odd places.
Owen
One
by.
fire.
So, Josh, were you ever into digging?
Digging.
Digging.
In the supermarkets, that's about it. I'm not much of a, I dig for food.
What does that mean? You dig for food?
I'm the digger in the supermarket. I'm the one that goes and like takes off all the top packages and looks for like the fresher stuff down below.
Ah, uh, are you the one that goes in for corn and shucks the corn on the cob and then takes? No?
Nah, that's too much work. I'll just move some packages around and see if I can get the best looking cut of steak or chicken or whatever it is, fish.
Oh, okay. All right. So is it also expiration date decision decided by expiration date?
Yeah, that's part of it. I try not to be too greedy about it because I realize that, product has to move and you don't want to leave the old stuff there. But yeah, that's definitely, I'd be lying if I said I didn't consider it.
All right. Yeah. So that's the only place in your life that you dig in the grocery store.
No, that was just the first one that came to mind. I suppose I dig through questions also. I love asking questions
So why do you love asking questions?
because it reveals more information. It's digging for information.
I see. So questions are basically digging for information.
Yeah.
Ah, all right. So what about physically digging? When you were a kid, did you physically dig? Did you like to? No.
Not particularly, no. I didn't have a sandbox. I didn't uh, dig for anything really. I guess there was nothing in the ground that I thought I wanted.
All right. All right. So what did you do as a child then?
That's a really good question. I was oblivious most of the time. That was my nickname, oblivious. So I really don't know what happened.
Okay. So to this point now in your life, you're oblivious?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean,
Well, here's the thing about oblivion. If you are oblivious, you can't know it. Because if you know you're oblivious, you're no longer oblivious. It's just kind of a self-defeating cycle of oblivion.
that's right. You can never say I'm humble because a humble person wouldn't say that they are humble. So you were oblivious. So how do you know you were oblivious?
I was told that constantly by my parents.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it
So
wasn't my own revelation. It was my feedback I got.
okay. So they constantly and they tell you to this day, right? Your mom, your dad, your brother.
No, not anymore. No, I'm a little more aware and wise now.
All right. So could oblivious equate to just being naive? You just didn't know.
Nah, maybe. But let me give you an example. Like I'd walk out in front of cars, moving cars. Like I would just be in my own world. That was my issue. I didn't care what was going on around me. I was oblivious to the rest of the world. I was in my own space, and
Yeah.
I would walk off a cliff if they didn't stop me.
Oh my, wow. I I'm starting to understand why you and I get along so well.
Are you a digger also?
I am a digger, and oblivious. I can see my obliviousness by listening to you talk about being oblivious as a child. I would just get in my own world. I was not one to step out in front of cars, moving cars, that is. I was one more to here you go. My earliest memory is maybe 3 years old. It's this shoe store. They sell hush puppies, I guess. And I think that I'm hanging on to my mother's leg, and I see my mother by the door with holding my brother and sister's hand and my brother's hand. And my mother turns to me and says, "Hey, it's time to go." And I'm holding a leg. I see her over there. I see both of her legs. I look up and there's some guy's leg that I'm holding. That is the first memory that I have. Was that oblivious? Of course I was oblivious to it. I thought it was
Yeah,
my mom's
but
leg.
you just wanted a leg, apparently. Like you didn't care what it was attached to. You just had this. You wanted the security, I guess, of a leg.
I wanted my mom's leg. I wanted to just be close to my mom. Wherever she was, I
Oh,
just wanted to be close to her. That's what I think it was. Maybe it was just a leg I wanted. Yeah. I wrote a movie about it.
apparently,
I wrote a movie
apparently,
about it.
we should talk about this some more about your leg fetish and just the security of a leg
Yeah. So I would dig as a child, and I loved to dig. Just
and dirt in like outside.
in like we had 3 1/3 acres, and I would just dig. I would just go in the back, and I don't know what I was digging to.
What was the craziest thing you found? Did you find anything like dead bodies or gold or?
No, I found like wood that had been petrified. No, I don't know if it's petrified, but it had been in there for a while, and it looked like coal. Okay, coal, like black. And I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna hit oil. We're gonna be rich, And that was my concept, my idea. I remember one time we dug an 8 foot hole. We just kept digging, and I mean, I was tired. I mean, I was maybe 7, 8, and I don't know how I got out of the hole. I swear, I was in this thing, and I was like, how do we get out? 8 feet. Uh, in my life now, I look back at being a digger. However, I feel that, like just talking to you, I dig for answers also. I mean, I find myself asking the questions. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, and as I was talking to her, she would say something and I didn't know what it was, and I would just stop her. And I used to never do that. I used to be like, yeah, I'd placate. I'd just like, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't know what the heck they were talking about. And I stopped her. I was like, what does that mean? And she let me know. And I was like, oh. And then she'd go on, and I had to stop her and go, what does that mean? Because it was almost as if she knew what I knew what she was talking about. So
Yeah.
so digging for answers, digging for the truth. Yeah.
But there's a conundrum here. So I'm going to call it the digger's conundrum.
All right.
When you dig, you don't know what you're going to find. So there's the excitement of possibly finding something amazing, but then there's the fear of maybe not wanting to find what you find. You know what I mean? There could be something not so nice that you find that would have been better off had you just not known.
Okay. I got it. You're talking about the end result. Well,
Yes.
now, I mean, I think that digging for me was meditation as a child. There was just something about doing the same thing over. And back then, I was very intuitive to the process. We've talked about this. I've only recently become intuitive to the process, and that is being wherever you are, being right there, not thinking I'm gonna hit gold or whatever. It was that I'm gonna do this and get into a mindful mindset and be in the process.
So wait a minute. You had the idea for the Zen garden long before they started selling that crap online? Wow, you could have been rich. See? You could have struck gold, and you did strike gold. You didn't realize it. You had the Zen garden. You were playing with sand, and it was zenful. It was peaceful.
I was digging as much as I could. I just, all I wanted to do was dig, and it was this, and that brings up an idea of like meditation is that. Meditation is this repetitive thing to get to nothing.
Well, it's not to go anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. It is to be in the process to the point where you are, I'm alive. I'm alive. This is me alive. This is me in this moment.
I dig, therefore I am.
Yeah.
That should be on a t-shirt. that would be your t-shirt right there. I dig, therefore I am.
Yeah. I love, yeah. So, that's the digging conundrum that I guess you have.
Well, in life, I think we should always just keep on digging. Never stop digging.
Yeah, I really dig that.
Really? Man, that's
Thinking of any dig analogies I can throw in there.
I'm so dig-lighted. You like that? That was a stretch. That was a tough one.
I'm Banks. I'm digging Banks. I'm digging Josh.
Whoa, and I'm digging everything you've said, Banks.
All right. This is Odd Places going
Viral.
viral.
That's right.